Hi, lovely people. Welcome back to another episode of
Off
the
the
Record
Record
Podcast. Guys, it has been a long break.
Yeah.
But we are so excited to be back with amazing content. And for the first time, we are hosting a lovely guest. Lakini before we get into the episode, we reject.
Rejected.
Reject.
That in me was long overdue, that break.
Yeah.
We went and rejected room to atuta, nita, tume.
Tumetenga.
But anyway, we are here today. Karibu sana, our new guest.
Thank you.
Yes. So Lisa, tell me, how have you been?
Me, I have been lovely.
Self-care.
Self-care on point. Kuna morning in Aglango. This is as a result of self-love.
Yeah, it's very important.
How about you, Mariah?
Well, we went and rejected and rejected, but anyway, I think I'm fine. It's been a long, like the
The
wait was long overdue. So I'm ready for this episode and just to see, we have a new guest.
Yes.
Atombe what she has in store for us. Maybe tell us your name and what you're doing here.
Okay, hi guys. My name is Brenda Bonarere. I'm from AFNI, that's Africa Free of New HIV Infections. It's a platform for HIV prevention advocates. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here and to join these lovely ladies.
Karibu.
Asante.
Yeah, I can also confirm I am part of AFNI Youth Court 2024. And yeah, I'm super excited to have this conversation today. So Lisa, tell us, what are you having today?
So, guys, recently I had an oops ile accident when I was on my period. And for some reason, considering how woke I think I am, it caught me off guard. I felt a bit embarrassed. So I was like, leo tuongele maneno, tuongele, because sometimes we are always saying, let's end period stigma, yet we're the ones stigmatizing ourselves. Lakini hata kabla to dig uko kwa stigma. Brenda, tell us, how was your first time?
My first time.
Yeah.
I was in class 8. That was in 2013. I remember going to my mom and telling her, I think I'm bleeding down there. In my mind, I was in total rejection.
Yeah.
I didn't want to believe I'm finally having my period. So I was telling her, maybe it's like a wound. Yeah, then she got some pads and she taught me how to use a pad.
Wow.
And this was 1 week to KCP. So I actually ended up messing up during KCP because that was when I got my second periods. And it was so traumatic. And I can remember the first conversation with my mom. She told me, sasa ukicheza na vijana utapata mimba. That's all. Nothing else.
Warning.
But I think what I can say, parents like sugarcoating things. So what do you mean by kucheza na vijana? Because I can go play kati with them, or we play. Our parents. Our parents were very, cautious,
Very conserved.
conserved, and because nowadays you tell someone when you have sex with a boy, with a man, you will get pregnant.
Yeah.
We don't sugarcoat things anymore.
And Mariah, you tell us.
Well, I think for me, I was in class 7 in Mombasa. And before that, we've had conversation about menstrual in school. And I was privileged at least to receive, pads here and there when we had those, clubs. But in my head, I knew the moment I start my period, I'll have to jump. Jump so that I can ease the pain. The myths and misconceptions surrounding menses, it's crazy. Yeah. So, but I remember I was so privileged. I went to my auntie and I told her, hey, I've seen my period, so what do I need to do? And then she asked me, what do you know? And then I said I have to jump or I have to go jogging so that, the blood can come out and I can feel relaxed and maybe ease the pain. So that was my first experience, and my auntie took me through the whole process. She gave me pads. So I can say I was privileged.
Oh, wow. You guys are so lucky.
Yeah.
Because for me, first and foremost, mine was a late period. I got my first period, I think, when I was in Form 3.
Oh, wow.
Imagine.
Oh.
It's good and bad.
And then I was so tiny. Hii kamwili ya kunona hii ya Mungu ya, ya later blessings. But I was so tiny. I had learned about periods from school and menstruation, how to use a pad, all those things. However, my parents had never sat me down to talk to me about menses, ever. And because I had never asked for periods, she never used to buy me. Kwanza mimi nilikuwa boarding school, guys. So she never used to buy me ata ile tu ya emergency. So how mine happened is tulikuwa tumeenda funky. And then there's this boy who had been writing me letters from the neighboring school. As in, like, me, I went to quartet, so the boys we used to interact with were from Alliance Boys. Sasa, kuna huyu kijana mtanashati. So he'd been writing me letters, I think first term, second term, but sikuwa nampea attention. So in a third term, mimi kama Lisa nimeamua, today I have to flirt with this boy. So we used to be in the choir. We used to have a Loreto and Alliance choir. So amekuja kwa basi tu kunibongesha. Mimi Lisa, for the first time I'm feeling things I've never felt in my life. Like, is it butterfly, is excitement. And then this was like my first hug from a boy. Imagine niko Form 3, guys.
Wow.
So kidogo nikamwambia, you know what, I'm pressed. Let me quickly use the washroom. So the two washrooms are funky, zinakuanga shared. So let me use the washroom, then I come. Yo, kumbe hizo ma jitters, ma butterflies, manini. It was my period starting. So I go to the washroom, and then my mom had taught me to always wear white panties. Me, by the I started wearing different colors of panties later in life. But when my mom was buying me, it was always white. So my white panty is full of dark brown. I panicked. I didn't even know. Sasa nitoomba na ni pad. I was so ashamed. Mimi mwenyewe nikikumbuka hata kwa dorm sina pads because sikuanga nimeanza my baby. So my mom had never bought me pads. So I just quickly went to our teachers who usually accompany people for funkies, a female one. Nikamwomba. Thankfully tulikonga tumefunzwa how to put on a pad. But now going back to school, niko na challenge, sina pads. Luckily the Christian Union in our school used to collect pads and then they give students who are needy. So sasa changamoto yangu ilikuwa, how do I go and explain that I am needy? Yet according to these people, I don't fit that category.
Wewe ndo wakupeana.
Yes. Mimi ndo napaswa kuwa nikipeana. Lakini sasa mimi ndo nakuja unaona hiyo nilikuwa nandram, nilikuwa nayo. But anyway, so since to cut the long story short, I didn't go back to flirting with the boy. I was too embarrassed. I was like, what if sasa nisimame?
I know.
I just had that situation level, and unfortunately alikatch na tukua yongea tena. So that was my first period experience.
It's good and bad. At least it saved you some, I don't know, those heartbreaks, the first love, boyfriend. So it's fine. But that was really interesting. So maybe you can tell us one of the challenges that you faced, the first few days of your menses. Like, did you have someone that you can talk to about? Like, boys make you feel like you should be embarrassed, it's a bad thing?
So I was in a girls' school. Nivile too, this particular first time happened to kwa funky, so we were interacting with boys. Yes. So for me, I genuinely didn't have anyone to speak to about it. And the crazy thing is even after I went home, tumefunga shule, I didn't tell my mom. Imagine, because we had never had a conversation. So I was like, how do I even begin this convo? But because my elder sister, already alikuanga me experience menses. I was just stealing my sister's pads. Kila time my sister accused the house girl anina naambia my mom, ni kama the nani anaiba pads zangu. Then my mom is like, but I always shop for even the nanny pads. I don't think she can be stealing your pads,
Yeah.
considering I buy for her. Kumbe ni mimi Lisa.
You're even embarrassed to talk to your mom.
Yes,
Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay, so for us, I was brought up in a very strict Christian background.
Yeah.
So iyo chism no nanga guys has nothing to do with my background. I am just cray in a good way.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to approach that conversation. We'd never spoken about sex. We'd never spoken about menses. So all the knowledge I had was from school.
Yeah.
Because shule tu tulikuanga ni so the way you said at you had the
Yeah,
club,
yeah.
you would be taught about those things. So when we were opening school, nikenda shopping, nili grab tu nikazika as part of the shopping. So even after shopping, yes, sasa kurudi shule next term from 4 January, I just picked. She didn't notice nilikuwa nimepick pads. Yeah, she just paid for the shopping. Na life ikaendelea hivyo. I think ali notice after nimemaliza form 4. Because sasa that is when you're staying at home.
Yeah.
That's when she noticed. And even after she noticed, we didn't have that convo. So for me, what I'd say is a challenge, or rather a challenge
Yeah.
I experienced,
Yeah.
is not being able to talk to my parent openly about periods. Because kwetu we were very religious. Like kuna vitu, I don't know, hatukuwa tu tunaongelea. Even to date, at my age, hatujaongelelea periods, hatujaongelelea sex, nothing. Nothing.
So that is, it's good.
Yeah.
Actually, it's bad because they say your parents are supposed to be your first
Your besties,
friend. Yeah, like because we keep telling our young girls, if a boy touches you on your boobs, on your vagina, you need to go and have someone that you can actually open and tell that person that something's happened to me. So I can imagine Lisa didn't have someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Virtual hugs. I hope you're okay.
Maybe some therapy.
yeah. Maybe you can tell us maybe challenges that you've experienced.
Okay. My first days. So remember when I mentioned my story?
Yeah.
It was towards KCP. So the second periods came on the day I was doing maths. So I wake up to go ask for permission to go to the washrooms, and the invigilator follows me outside. She's like, "Hey, you've messed up and everything." Yeah. So I feel like the first days I was not still so good at cleaning the pads well, so I ended up messing up. I'd wake up and I've stained a place or something. Yeah, that was quite challenging because now that one for KCP, everyone knew I was on my periods. Maybe that's why I didn't perform so well. But we are here, we made it.
Yeah, we made it. Look at us now.
Yeah, it's fine. I think from the challenges that you've said, because you find that right now someone might miss school because maybe she didn't have a pad, or she was forced to, or rather she'll feel like when I go to school and I mess my dress, boys will laugh at me. Even girls nowadays, we stigmatize. You can stigmatize your own, female friend, So, and you've had stories where a teacher punished a girl because
someone committed suicide.
It's very crazy. So I think because of those challenges, I decided, like, you know what, I'm going to give back to my community, and I started a mentorship program in Po Primary School in Siaya County, and I try to do it on a quarterly basis because maisha ni ngumu, but we try hapa na pale, well wishers, friends, and we collect pads, we collect soap, and we go back to that school because in Siaya it's very challenging. Why? Those kids, they're experiencing a different challenge. You find that I was there a week ago, and they were telling me sometimes they are forced to, exchange sex for pads, and they have to sleep with these fishermen. And then I'm asking them, so what, how do they go about? Like, oh, I'll give you 200 shillings to buy pads. And in real sense, they'll sleep with these girls and she'll get pregnant. So they have not solved anything because it's like you're exchanging 200 for a baby. It's even more challenging. So that means the cycle of poverty is just going to go round and round and round, and that's because of period poverty. So me going back to that school and just talking to these boys and girls, telling them that, hey, I know this is not enough, but let me just bridge that gap and make sure that you're not going to ask for that 200 shillings from that fisherman to buy pads. Maria is here to to make sure that you're getting that pad. And thank you so much to my friends, my well-wishers who just come. We came together and made sure that boys and girls from Po are happy. Yeah. So maybe Brenda, here you have something that you're doing around menstrual
I'm
health.
inspired by what you're doing.
You can tell us what you're doing around menstrual health. Yeah.
So I'm actually focusing on Kibera slums. I got to recently learn that so many girls they don't really know how to go about their menstrual days, the menstrual hygiene and everything. So they get infections quite a lot. UTI and everything. So I'm trying to champion menstrual hygiene in that aspect. So going into the schools and the villages within Kibera slums to, just inform people this is what you're supposed to do, how to dispose of the pads, how to make sure you don't get an infection.
Yeah.
And you can imagine in a slum, people
Yeah.
don't have access to water, they don't have access to the pads themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just championing menstrual hygiene in Kibera slums. Yeah, and on Friday I have my first activity for this month.
Good job. Good
We
job.
will come to support.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Off the
Thank
record,
you, guys.
it's going to support you. That's really nice. So maybe at least you can tell us the myths and misconceptions around, period.
I really liked what you mentioned about how you engage boys and you teach them how to create a safe environment for girls when they're having their periods. For me, I think one myth is how people say menstruation is dirty, menstruation is disgusting. Unapata hata pale kwa supermarket when ukirapiwa shopping, wanafunga na gazeti. Karibu they get even like 5 pieces of gazeti just to wrap it. Ndo waeke kwa the main shopping. You see, already that is a way of promoting stigma that menstruation is dirty. Inapaswa kwa kitu ya siri. So for me, what I have intentionally done to try and break that stigma, my male friends, I challenge them, go buy for me tampons, go buy for me pads, I have a son, bado hajafika hiyo age, but akianza kufika hiyo age, I'll also teach him so that he can be a good support system for his girlfriend or wife in the future. Or if Mungu akikubali he ever gets a sister, you see, he can always be that good example. And also, niliona juzi online ati watu wanapewa initangwaji menstruation gift packages by their boyfriends and their husbands. So when it's that time of the month, your hubby or your boyfriend or your partner in general, they let you take a break, they send you flowers, they send you chocolates, they write for you a nice note. You see, that's another way of encouraging men to destigmatize that menstruation is a bad thing or it's dirty. It's actually a good thing, and all of us here are alive because our mothers menstruated.
Absolutely.
So it's a critical part of the reproductive health system of a woman. And it's healthy. It's healthy, and we need to stop viewing it as though it's a disgusting or a negative thing. Just teaching both women and men to be proud of it.
Absolutely. I think you've said something about boys, and when I was in Siaya, I challenged those boys to show me how to wear a pad, and it was so impressive. At first they were like, they're trying to be shine off, and I'm like, you boys, like, it's not a bad thing. And 2 boys came up front, and they call panties opesh. So
What's okay?
the panties. Lewis will show us that. So the kids, they took one of the 2 boys. They came in front and they just demonstrate how to wear a pad, and it was really I really felt good, and I felt like the job that I'm doing is that if I can say that, because this is nowadays they're saying we're empowering women, but you're leaving the boys. So that was me trying to make sure that the boys are empowered, the girls are empowered, because out of 10, the first time maybe a girl is having her menses, who is behind her? A boy. So we need to make sure that that boy behind her is not going to laugh at her. The boy is going to make sure that she's comfortable. If she needs to get a pad, if she needs to protect her and just to cover, like basically just an all-round boy. We're trying to model him to be a good man, because I keep saying at the end of the day, that man is going to get married, and for instance, in a space where the mother is not there, what happens? What happens? Like, you're not going to be in a position where you need to buy your daughter a packet of pads. It's not an embarrassing thing. It's supposed to be a cool thing. It's a good thing. It's natural. There's nothing you can do about it. Menstruation is actually a good thing. So That was really interesting. So I don't know, Brenda, you have something to add about
No,
that?
actually, I agree, and I feel like another thing we need to be okay with.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I've grown, now I can wear my pads well, of course, 10 years later.
Yeah.
But you can still wake up and do everything right and still experience a moment of staining and and you're just
Absolutely,
like, it's okay, it's normal, guys. You don't have to feel like, no, I have to hide.
Yeah.
And you've seen some politicians going into the parliament to raise awareness, and they make sure you can actually see on my white pants, I've stained.
Yeah.
And we need to have these difficult conversations. So,
But again,
staining
a woman. A woman was the one trying to stigmatize that woman. You know, women, we are fighting. Ourselves. This is such a bad thing. I think maybe I can add another myth that from we're Africans and growing up you're told that if you're having your menses you're a dirty woman. You cannot stand in front of an altar. Like for the polygamous, that week your husband will go to the second wife. You're when you're chafu, you need to cleanse yourself, and it's such a bad. I don't know. It's exhausting. Like we need to change that narrative.
There are men who can't eat food anime because na a lady who is on her menses. And I know of someone who anytime when she's on her menses they do takeout. Yes, the husband atakula. They do takeout.
So what her reasons? Like maybe the husband's what?
I don't know.
What are the reasons why he can't?
Like the depth of how they
The culture,
believe. But it's part of what we're saying. Stigma, the misconception, and why we need to normalize conversations about menstruation and that it's healthy, so that people stop viewing it so badly. Another myth is that menstruation must be painful for everyone, which is not true. We recognize, people who unfortunately have endometriosis or people who unfortunately, have painful periods, but it doesn't mean that it has to be painful for everyone. If you have painful periods, obviously seek medical attention, find a way of managing it. Nowadays, there are organizations that actually have period leaves. They call them menstruation leaves. So every week you're given, not every week, sorry, every month, if you're someone with endo or someone who experiences painful periods, you're given up to 5 days off. The first 2 days, completely no work. Then the other days, you can work from home and resume back to the office. So that is a good step towards ending period stigma. Do you know of any other stigma or
a good way to end it? I feel like now that you've mentioned the part for the pain, it doesn't have to be painful. So on the other side, I'd like to say, if it's too painful, it's okay to seek medical attention, because we have so many girls. I remember in high school, you find someone is fainting, but you have to be strong. You're a woman, jikaze, yet you have an underlying medical condition that's dangerous if not treated early. So it doesn't have to be too painful, and si lazima pia ikuwe na pain.
I think for me, I can just say power to the endo warriors, and like unfortunately I have my friend who when it's time for her menses, she has to go to the hospital, she has to get injection, and my heart goes out to her. I'm like, you know what, it's fine, show me, like, we see you, we love you, virtual hugs, because personally I don't have painful menses. Like I count myself lucky, and during that moment my friend calls me, like, she's feeling so bad, and I feel so bad with her. So again, power to all the endo warriors, power to all the women who go through hardship during that 5-7 days of menses.
So my girls, as we are closing, in the spirit of making menstruation fun and a beautiful experience for all women, tell us one positive thing that you have experienced through menstruation that you want the world to know. And let's start with you, Brenda.
One fun thing. I don't know, I feel like just having that one thing that I can identify with other women. It's like a girl's thing. I can say I'm on my periods, and the girl next door will be like, oh, it's okay, I understand what you're going through. It's beautiful to have that community as women.
Yeah.
Nice.
And for you, Mariah?
I think for me, my friends once bought me a chocolate just to
Aw.
and that was really nice. So yeah. So again, power to all women out there.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
And the men, they're not helping.
They are. Because Lisa mentioned that nowadays we have,
Period package.
Period package. Yeah? People are getting packages. And there's this guy on Facebook. Normally he showed us how to prepare, I don't know, herbs. When her wife is going through her
Aw,
menses,
that's so
he will
cute.
cook for him. For her. He'll make sure that she's comfortable.
Wow.
She's eating the best meal. She gives her back massages.
Aw,
I'm like, oh my god,
God's
tummy
favorite.
massages. So we are all tapping into that.
We are claiming that blessing.
Yes, yeah.
For me, my favorite part about period, getting my menses, is knowing that I'm not pregnant. Yani ikifika tu around that time, I'm like, Jehovah, thank
Kwani Lisa unachezanga risky games?
Thank you.
Speaking of
You see,
pregnant,
when you're in a long-term relationship and you're not intending
Yeah,
to bring baby number 2 as soon as possible, there's always the opportunity for an oops baby. So
Okay, fair enough.
hiyo masaa tukifika, you're like, hallelujah.
so you can confirm that women fear pregnancy more than HIV, STI. Because there's a survey.
I can
that was
confirm
done.
based on the work that we do.
Yes.
And I think that will come to one of our
Yes.
other episodes.
Yeah.
But also, as someone who has one regular partner, I can also confirm that kama my sables or budgets are not ready for a second born,
Yeah.
you just want to nini.
Yeah.
Just to be careful. Yeah.
So you're saying have the baby when you're ready, right?
Yes.
Yeah, mtoto akuji na sahani yake.
Hadi. Si kwa economy.
Tumepanga.
Tumetenga.
Lazima utenge huyo mtoto.
That was really interesting.
Yeah.
Yes. And our lovely viewers, if you'd love to support Mariah's and Brenda's work in providing free sanitary towels and free sanitary products, feel free to comment against our video. But also, we always have a PayPal link on underneath all of our videos. So feel free to donate there, and we will be very, very, very grateful. And kama kawaida, we'll see you again. Bye.
Powered by AFNI. You may be wondering what's AFNI. AFNI is Africa Free of New HIV Infections. It's a platform for young advocates who are championing HIV prevention. So as part of the AFNI program, they have this youth mentorship whereby they try to train young people how to become advocates, how to champion for sexual reproductive health rights, menstrual hygiene, and HIV prevention. So yeah, that's AFNI.